Good morning. I am so delighted to join you for Coffee with Kelli. Thanks so much for being here this morning. I almost had a little crisis this morning. Ironically, my coffee maker was not working. So that was a little stressful knowing that I was joining you this morning for coffee. But we just thank you all for being here. My amazing new executive assistant, Kaylee, is running our slideshow. So Kaylee, if you'll go ahead and go to the next slide. We just want to welcome you all today. Thank you for making time. Thank you for your support of Hand to Hold and what we do for NICU families and your desire to stay in touch and know what is happening with us on a regular basis. So again, welcome. Kaylee, let's show them our new coffee cups. We're going to be giving away 10 of our new coffee cups. We'll talk some more about that new logo you see there. But at the end, we'll randomly select 10 winners from our participants today. So thank you for being here. And at the end of the call, we'll draw some names and we'll let you know if you're one of our lucky winners of our new coffee cups. So Kaylee, let's go on and jump right into today. We start our staff meetings and our board meetings with a mission moment. We just think it's really important for us to stay connected to our mission, for our staff and for our board and for you. So this is one of the amazing families that we had the privilege of supporting over the past year during COVID. This is Lauren Van Ert and her beautiful little boy, Carson Brown. And he was born 5.5 weeks early, a little more than 3 pounds, and was at the St. David's NICU. And one of the things I just love about Lauren's story is that she was able to utilize a lot of different support services from Hand to Hold. We really try to provide a comprehensive level of support from peer-to-peer mentors, in-hospital support, and more. And so I wanted to highlight this. She says that Hand to Hold transformed her NICU experience, and that is exactly what we want to hear. She had the ability to family support specialists. So Hand to Hold staff that work in hospitals, in our partner hospitals, they are mental health peer support certified specialists. So our family support specialists working in the hospitals, and Lauren was able to benefit from this direct support of one of our family support specialists. She also listened to our podcast. She also had a peer mentor and continues to meet with that peer mentor. In addition, she and her husband took advantage of our free counseling program and were able to have 8 to 12 free sessions with our counselor. So Kaylee, let's show them the next slide. This is just kind of an overview of what Hand to Hold does. So again, we partner with hospitals for our family support specialists to be there at the baby's bedside to provide direct support to families. Those family support specialists are leading support groups. They're doing sibling education classes. They're doing new nurse education classes during NICU stay. They're also delivering our milestone beads. One of the moms there wearing her beads proudly. The bead necklace starts off with a stork, and they add a bead for each major milestone. So changing that first diaper, holding the baby for the first time, the first bath. And we find that this helps integrate them into the care of the baby, but helps them celebrate their NICU stay. It's a very long, difficult, challenging experience, often very isolating, and we want them to find joy along the way, and we do that through our Milestone Bead program. So national support groups, we'll talk about that some more, but we started that last year when the COVID restrictions kept us from being in the hospital. But we learned a lot, and we have some fun announcements for you this morning in regard to our virtual support groups, which are happening every day, Monday through Friday, multiple times a day in English and in Spanish. NICU parents, NICU bereaved parents, NICU graduate parents. So no matter where you are in the journey, you can find the support group that is right for you. We have certified peer support program specialists. So our peer mentors are serving families across the country, right now in 48 states, peer mentor matches, and we match them based on the birth experience. So the mom of a 24-weeker supporting another mom of a 24-weeker, but someone who is seasoned, who've been out of the NICU 3 to 5 years and have gone through our training to be matched with a new parent to provide support. Bereavement support, we're doing a lot more around bereavement support this year. Again, launching that virtual support group just for bereaved families, but also Facebook private chat groups and other resources for bereaved parents. Free counseling, I mentioned that a moment ago. That's for our Texas families, but we're very interested in piloting that outside the state of Texas. So something that we are looking at expanding. 5 podcast channels, as you know, NICU parents, NICU grad parents. We have a station just for dads and one for NICU professionals where they get continuing education credits for listening to those podcasts. A diverse online community, so many ways to connect with us online through Facebook and all of our social channels. We're on Pinterest, we're on YouTube. We're going to meet you where you are. If it's Instagram, we want to be there to provide support. Educational webinars, we have many more of those coming over the next year, and super excited about that. And then our NICU professional trainings, and we'll talk some more about that. All right, Kaylee, next slide, if you will. We're so excited to officially show you our new branding. So this started about 18 months ago, prior to COVID. We started looking at our branding. Is it time for a refresh? Hand to Hold is 10 years old, as you know, actually in our 11th year. And we're looking at where we are today. And is our mission truly reflective of who we are and what we're doing right now and where we want to go? So part of that branding refresh was looking at our mission statement. We tweaked it slightly, adding personalized support, because that's really what we want to do. I think that's what makes our peer-to-peer program so unique, that we are matching you with someone who has a experience very similar to your own, a baby born with a similar birth defect or experiencing a similar challenge. And you as a mom, if you were carrying twins and you lost one or one passed away in the NICU, we want that peer mentor to have a very similar experience. But we want personalized support, our family support specialist providing that one-on-one support. But we want you to find what you need throughout Hand to Hold. So whatever's best for you and your family. If it's just reading our website and our blogs and listening to a podcast, or do you want counseling? So personalized support to help you through your NICU journey. We also revised our vision statement because we wanted to know that we envision a world where every NICU parent has support. And we say that because we're connecting families across the country, but outside of the US as well, through our Peer Mentor program and listening to our podcast, attending webinars. So we envision a world, and we're part of different organizations that are outside the United States and working with them to make sure that we are collectively looking at prematurity and NICU stays across the country and around the globe and how we can better support these families. Very exciting for us are our values. These have always been our values from the very beginning. We finally put pen to paper, put them down, but we are committed that they are more than just words on a website. So starting with belonging, we foster safe and caring spaces for healing. Go ahead, Kaylee, and we'll jump through some more. Compassion. We recognize the heartache and the grief and the trauma NICU families experience and meet them where they are. Equity, especially important now more than ever, that we are committed to fairness and impartiality in everything we do, and we are well informed and inclusive of all the perspectives to meet the diverse needs of the families that need us. Integrity, we're always trustworthy, honest, reliable, authentic, and accountable, and we are committed to holding ourselves and our partners to the highest of standards. And then bold, we are thought leaders and change makers. We believe in Brene Brown. We listen to her on a regular basis and take her training because we know that it's important that we embrace vulnerability and engage in these courageous conversations. Why? Because we're committed to growth. And the only way that we can grow is that we'll show them our growth statement there about being committed to learning and developing innovative programs and evolving strategies to champion a world where all NICU families thrive. And we're going to tell you about our growth plans right now. So our board. As we are growing to serve more families across the country, we need a more diverse board so that our board is reflective of the populations that we serve. And we are committed to doing that. We have 6 seats opening up next year. And so we want to hear from you. Who needs to be on the Hand to Hold board? Not only so that we're more reflective of the families we serve, but we're bringing in board members from across the country. So I wanted to tell you just a few of our new board members this year. Melinda Garvey. I've known Melinda for many, many years, been working on her steadily to join our board, and it was finally the right time for her to join, and we are so happy to have her. She is the founder of Austin Woman Magazine. She's also the CEO of On the Dot, and you're going to hear more about them in just a moment. Sarah Inbo, she is with Huggies, and we could not be more proud of their support this year and all that Sarah is investing in us, from our branding refresh to the launch of something really exciting we're going to tell you about in just a moment. Sarah is a NICU parent and bringing that perspective to her board leadership. Vidya Millage is part of our board this year. We couldn't be more proud to have her. She's also a NICU parent, but she's a licensed mental health professional. And so really helping us think about how do we meet the mental health needs of the families that we serve and where they are in their NICU journey. So very proud to have Vidria join us. She has jumped right in and written a lot of blogs. You may have seen some articles by her, but been very, very involved. Corey Rittenhaler, he has been a friend and an advocate of Hand to Hold for many years. He was my advisor when I was part of the United Way program in Dallas, helping us look at launching in other cities. But Corey is a committed NICU parent to making sure that we are doing all we can to meet families where they are. He is the managing director of Accenture, and proud to have him. Kelli, next slide, if you will. So we wanted to talk about what we learned over the last year, year and a half. Those have been challenging for the world, but especially nonprofits. And really, we want to make sure that we take the time to look at what are we learning and what does that mean for us in the future? So we learned visitation restrictions because of COVID kept families from accessing support. I've been very vocal about the impact that I believe this has on NICU parents and babies, and have the privilege of speaking at several conferences, virtual conferences over the past year about the impact of visitation restrictions on NICU families. But what we did learn is virtual platforms allowed Hand to Hold to connect with families all over the country. So what we did is we took what we know works in our partner hospitals and that curriculum that we use for our support groups in hospitals, and we took that virtual, a big leap of faith. But again, thanks to Huggies for supporting us and making that possible for us to go virtual and allow our family support specialists to run these virtual support groups every day in English and Spanish for many different groups of NICU families. We learned that it works. I have to say, I wasn't sure. Would parents feel comfortable accessing virtual support groups and meeting with other families virtually? And the answer is a resounding yes. And those groups just continue to grow, and we're adding more, and we're so excited about where that's taking us. But we also learned a lot about serving women of color and the additional challenges that they face. Not only were they more impacted by COVID, but they are 49% more likely to have a preterm birth and be in the NICU. They have a higher risk of experiencing anxiety disorders, depression, postpartum depression, and PTSD. But they're less likely to either seek support or be able to access it if they want to. So we are committed to making sure that all families of every demographic have access to support and resources to help them through their NICU journey. So how are we going to do that? Next slide, Kelli. We are so delighted to tell you it is official. We are launching our app today. It's been a little stressful. That's why we need the extra coffee. There's still a lot of tweaks and things happening in the background on an app, as any app would up to the date of launch. We are so excited for you to visit our app. You just go to your app store or go to our website for the desktop version and join our NICU community if you are a NICU parent. What is this going to do for Hand to Hold and NICU families? It's revolutionary on many different levels. One, we're going to finally know more about the families we serve. We have more than 70,000 followers on our Facebook pages, but we don't know who they are. We're not able to collect data. We don't know a lot of information about them and where they are in their NICU journey. When they join our community, they're filling out a questionnaire. They can give us as much or as little information as they want, but we're going to know, where are they in the country? Where are they in their NICU journey? What supports do they need and want? And we're going to be able to micro-target that information to them through our online community, our app. What else are they going to be able to do? 24/7 support. So we're starting out like 9 to 5, that we will have our family support specialists. We have hired new family support specialists, which we were making them virtual, full-time virtual family support specialists, there to answer their questions, to chat with them if they want to just chat online. Or if they want an individual appointment, they can make appointments with our team of family support specialists. Within the community, they'll be able to read their bios and understand if this is a family support specialist that speaks Spanish, if that family support specialist is a bereaved parent, if they are a parent of multiples, and find the family support specialist right for them, or the one that is available when they're available to provide that support. To me, this is taking Hand to Hold to a whole new level, taking the support that we provide at the bedside in our partner hospitals and making it available for the first time for families across the country. And why is this so important? Because we know there's a lack of support for families across the country. Really, only the larger hospitals with the bigger budgets that are able to provide psychologists, psychiatrists, and even social workers. And even then, they cannot support every family in their hospital. So we want to make this available to all families, no matter where they are in the country and in their NICU journey. So we're just thrilled about what this community platform is going to allow us to do. Again, it is built on the On the Dot platform, which I mentioned earlier. That's a local Austin company. Melinda Garvey, again, is the founder, and we're so lucky to have her on our board and her ability to help us visualize what this could be. But they are customizing this platform for us. It is hyper mobile ready, and everything that we are doing, we're looking at how to make it the best, most functionality on mobile, so parents can reach us from their baby's bedside or in the car or no matter where they are. But we're building the community not only for NICU parents, but professionals. And we will have a lot more to come, probably in our next Coffee with Kelli, about what we're doing for professionals within the community as well. But this is going to allow equal access to support and resources by eliminating barriers for high-risk families. Kaylee, next slide. So here's what it looks like on your phone, but the ability, again, to schedule individual meetings with mental health peer support certified specialists. And also, we are looking at being able to hire our first dad who will focus on dad issues. Would dads feel more comfortable receiving support from another dad? Would they feel more comfortable coming to a support group? We know we got to find a better name for dads that they usually don't want to go sit in a group and talk about their feelings, but would they listen to a podcast? Yes, they would, and our podcast is proving so. So what else do we need to do to wrap around comprehensive services for our NICU dads? Because we know they experience postpartum depression and PTSD at high rates, and it's just often goes undetected, undiagnosed, or they don't know where to go for support. So we're going to fix that. Next slide, Kaylee. We're really excited. We're going to show you a little video here. This is a video with the help of Huggies and Scary Mommy that will be running on social platforms today. We just put a press release on the wires this morning, and we hope that this video will connect with NICU families across the country. So Kaylee, if you'll play that video for us. I am not hearing the sound, unfortunately, but at least you can see what it looks like there. It's much more moving with the music. I don't know why the music's not playing. There it goes. Since it's so short, Kaylee, let's play it one more time and maybe the music will pick up at the beginning. Let's see if we can do that. There you go. hope you'll love that as much as I do. I get a little lump in my throat every time I watch it, just knowing that what this can do for NICU families. And hopefully they will find this and see this and connect with it and be excited to engage on our new community platform. Kaylee, next slide. Another exciting thing about our community is for the first time we'll be able to host a virtual conference. We are thrilled with the speaker lineup that we have been able to secure. Our keynote speaker, Susan David, she is a Harvard Medical School psychologist. She's the author of the #1 Wall Street Journal best-selling book, Emotional Agility. She is our keynote speaker. This conference is taking place November 3rd through the 5th virtually for not just NICU parents, but NICU professionals. They'll have 2 different tracks that they're following. They'll share that keynote and then break off into their own tracks. But for NICU parents, it's about the ongoing mental health challenges many NICU parents face and what they need to do to address those challenges so that they can better take care of their medically fragile children. But it'll also be about many of the challenges that our NICU babies face after the NICU. So ongoing need for occupational speech and physical therapy, feeding challenges and nutrition, but also just barriers in providing support for families once their children go to school and some of those learning delays and challenges that they face. For NICU professionals, it is the first conference that is specifically focused on family-centered care. So helping NICU professionals access information about how to better support families in their NICU journey in their individual NICU. So we are thrilled about our NICU conference. All right, Kaylee, what's next? Oh, some other really exciting work that's being done. This is on a local level, but we were very excited to join a maternal health equity collaborative this year. It's made up of 4 different organizations, doula organizations, and other parent support organizations. And what this collaborative is doing is addressing the ongoing inequities and re-envisioning what service provision can look like for Black families, Indigenous people of color. And this includes really analyzing service provision to highlight what each organization does, what are the gaps, how can we better wrap services around these families. And I want to recognize our amazing program director, Rachel Astorga McCain, and the work she's been doing in this collaborative and a few of the things that they've already accomplished. So Kaylee, if we can show them on that next slide, these are just a couple of things that they've done this year, but they're advocating for policy change with hospital administrators to allow a birthing person's partner and doula to be present during birth. That was a restriction during COVID. They published a report, The Spirit of Possibility, for the St. David's Foundation on current birthing landscape here in Central Texas. And as of April 2021, the collaborative is the newest recipient of the Merit for Mothers Safer Childbirth Cities. Over the next 3 years, the collaborative will add culturally sensitive and comprehensive perinatal child care services to complement the wraparound community doula support of the collective organization. So this is just really groundbreaking work. When we talk about the challenges of COVID, the challenges of all of the things that came out of 2020, you gotta look at what they led to. And so I am so excited about being a part of this collaborative and the work that Rachel's doing and our and trying to learn from what we have been doing wrong for a long time, things we've been overlooking, and how can we better support all families. Next slide, Kaylee. Other exciting news. We have been working with Stanford University on a study that they are doing of NICU graduate parents to better understand kind of that long-term outcomes for parental outcomes related to parents' experience who had had a NICU stay. So I think that's really groundbreaking. Again, we haven't really done a lot of research on the long-term mental health of parents who spent time in the NICU with their babies. And then we are also working with Stanford to potentially put our peer mentor program in their unit. So we're really excited about this opportunity. Anytime you can work with Stanford, they are leaders in supporting their families. They have psychiatrists and psychologists and social workers and are really trying to meet the needs of NICU families. and they believe that our peer mentor program is a perfect fit for their NICU family. So we're really excited to see where that's going to go in the next few months, in the next few years. Thank you, Kaylee. Next slide. So what are we looking forward to? Right now, we are surveying our NICU families and the professionals here in Austin to determine, is it time? Can we bring back our NICU reunion? Will families feel safe connecting with us in person in the fall and bringing back our NICU reunion so we can celebrate all these NICU grads over the past year and past years and reconnect them with our family support specialists and with their care team. So that's something we do here locally. We'd love to see that grow in other cities where we have hospitals, but we're going to test and see if we're ready to bring back that reunion. We're doing the same thing for our baby shower. Everyone is telling us they miss our baby shower, and I do too. It's such a wonderful opportunity for us to gather with our supporters here in Austin and keep them aware of what we're doing and inspire them and engage them. And so we're also surveying all of our past participants to see, are they ready? And I believe we are. So stay tuned, looking at dates for late April, early May in 2022 to bring back the baby shower. And that is just so exciting. Next slide, Kaylee. We want you to know, as always, that Hope 100 is here. If you want to find a way to support our mission and stay involved with Hand to Hold, Hope 100 is those that give a gift of $1,000 or more a year. It can be a monthly donation, it can be a one-time gift, it can be a multiple year commitment, but we host Hope 100 events. We're also hoping to bring those back in the fall. We've had several individuals connect with us both in Austin and in Dallas and other cities saying they want to host a party in their home to bring in new Hope 100 members. So if you're interested in that, you would want to contact Kelly Perkins. She's our Director of Development. If you would like to make a donation, join Hope 100, or host an event in your home, we would love to talk with you. Next slide, Kaylee. So other ways that you can support Hand to Hold. I'm ready. I am fully vaccinated. I'm ready to get back out there, but I am willing to meet with you virtually or in person to talk about how can you support Hand to Hold. So we can discuss board and committee positions. As I mentioned to you earlier, we have many seats coming available in 2022, and we're already starting to interview and get to know potential candidates. If you're interested in joining our board, please let me know. There's so many volunteer opportunities you can do locally or nationally. Let us know if you're interested in volunteering. Be that if you're a NICU grad family and you want to be a peer-to-peer mentor, or if you want to support us in another way. If you want to introduce us to the hospital where your baby received care, there's so many different ways that you can volunteer to support us. Corporate sponsorship. Do you own a company or have a company that gives locally or nationally? We want to connect with them. Maybe they want to sponsor our conference this year, or maybe they want to support the baby shower locally. So corporate sponsorships, again, individual gifts or joining Hope 100, hosting a private event in your home, whether it be a private baby shower for Hand to Hold or a Hope 100 event. In-kind and pro bono. We just had a wonderful family say we supported them in the past year and they want to help us with marketing. So there's so many different ways that you can support a gift or a pro bono gift. So let's think and brainstorm together of what that could be. Speaking opportunities. I have been speaking virtually for a year, but I am ready to go back in person too. So from small groups and committees and small organizations that you're part of or present to your company, you let me know if there's a speaking opportunity to introduce Hand to Hold to your group, or just to talk about maternal mental health and some of the disparities and inequities that we're seeing and how we are trying to make sure that NICU parents thrive after a NICU stay. I would love to speak to that group. So just let me know. I want to thank you again for joining us. Kaylee, next slide. Again, we want to thank you for being part of our Coffee with Kelli. And we've got this great coffee mug with our new branding and logo. And we're going to be giving away 10 of those. So we will email you if you are a lucky winner and let you know. But please don't hesitate to reach out, join our community. Go look at our website. We refreshed it last night, still making some new tweaks, but I'm so excited about the new branding refresh and the new navigation and driving people to our app. So please share it on social as you see us sharing on Facebook and Instagram. Please share and like and rate and review. Help us get the word out that Hand to Hold is here to support families across the country. Thank you so much for supporting Hand to Hold and joining me for Coffee with Kelli this morning. It was a pleasure.